Hi, I recently designed a program that is very flexible. It's very much designed around solving real problems and working through case study based material. So it's going to be much more effective because it's driven by learner needs. However, the client still wants a PowerPoint deck to support the learning. So how do you create a PowerPoint deck that isn't going to force you down a particular route in a particular order? There is a really easy way that you can create a PowerPoint deck that allows you to go where you want to go whenever you want to go there. And I'm going to show you how to set that up in this short video. So here's my PowerPoint deck. As a result of the case studies that we're talking about, one or more of these theories might be worth delving into a little bit more. The program isn't theory-based, but sometimes it's nice, isn't it, when we spot a recurring theme to be able to just give a little bit more information on it. So as you can see down here, I've got a slide on each of these models that we can talk through if we want to. But we might not need to cover them all. So what, for example, if we think actually all we really need to talk about are the motivation ones. That's all that's come up and we want to just delve into that a little bit more. So we don't want to have to go through that embarrassing thing of clicking through and going, oh, we're not talking about that. Oh, we're not talking about that. This is what I want to talk to you about, because then people feel like they're missing out on something or you're hiding something from them. So just better to say, here are some things that sometimes come up, and then just go to the thing that you actually want to cover. Let's go to Hertzberg. Hertzberg's one of my favourites. So you can either highlight the text or you can highlight the shape. I'll show you both. So we'll start by highlighting the shape actually. So I've created this in word art. I've clicked on the element that I actually want to link to the slide, and up here you can see on the insert menu you can insert a link. Now what will happen is the first time you open this, PowerPoint will automatically want to send you to either a web page or a file on your computer. So we don't want to do that. We want to go to a place in this document and we want to link it to the slide that's all about. So show and return, I think, should bring you back to this page, but for some reason that's not available to me. So I'm going to show you how you can work around that. So we click OK. So that shape now has a hyperlink. So when we click on that in presentation mode, it will automatically take us to that particular slide. Now, just a word to let you know, if you're using a clicker from the back of the room, your clicker will go to the next slide. So you actually have to use your mouse and click on the thing that you want to talk about. So just a little word there for when you're actually presenting. The other way that you can do this is by highlighting your text. The exact same process. You insert a link down here and we go to the slide that we want and we click OK. Now, as you can see, it's changed the colour of the text, which is not helpful. So we just have to whiz back and change the text colour. But now the text there is the hyperlink, whereas in here the shape is the hyperlink. So I think the shape looks a little bit neater. So I'll probably just go along and do the rest of them as shapes, and then I'll show you how it works and how you need to get back to this page and also move on. They've now all got hyperlinks, and I've just realised that actually one of the nice things of putting it in the words is that it's obvious that it is a hyperlink. So particularly if you're designing slides that you might not be using yourself or you might not be using for a while, actually highlighting the words will remind you that there are hyperlinks there. So if I just pop this into presentation mode, okay, so I'll just pop this into presentation mode. So as we're chatting along, so if I just click as I normally would, anywhere on this slide, it takes me through the slides in order. So we go back to the previous one, back to the previous one, back to the previous one. However, if I click on the hyperlink, it takes me to the slide that I want to go to. Now, obviously now we're stuck. So you will see that I've added a little arrow. I haven't done anything with that arrow yet, but this is basically your go back button, or it will be your go back button when you add another hyperlink into it. So let's end the show. And I've put these little go back arrows on all of them. So we click on that shape. And how I did that, by the way, is just insert an icon. So I went to the icon. So you can see the different arrows there, and I've just chosen, you can choose any of these, which is just quite a nice little icon. So I inserted my icon. Now we need to, in the exact same way, add a hyperlink. So insert the link, and we're going back to that page. And we're going to do that on all of them. Link. So now not only are all these hyperlinked, we've also got a way to come back from them. So if I click on Maslow, go to Maslow, and we talk through that, and then we want to go back and say, but there's another theory of motivation that you might find interesting. So we go back to here and we click on Hertzberg, and that takes us there. So far, so good. We can go on any of these, talk about them, and return back. But what when we're finished? What happens then? How do you get out of this loop? Again, it looks a little bit clumsy just to fast forward through all of them again to get to the next slide, which is this one. So we'll end the show again, and I'll show you how I get back to this. So on this page here, which is kind of our hub page, I would insert an icon, and I like to put a fast forward in, make it that colour, and then exactly the same as we did before, we insert a link to a place in the document, and I take it to the next section. So when we're finished with this, we just go to the next section, and then we'll be able to carry on when we're in presentation mode. So I hope you found that useful. I just think it's a really neat way of allowing you to be a lot more flexible in your session plan, especially if you or your client does still like to have quite a few slides to build your session on.